Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand and welcome back to a new Premier League season. How are we all doing? It's Manchester United against Hull and we're back. We're so back and I'm actually very happy with the Manchester United side as well. I think we can get that up on the screen for you very, very quickly. But yeah, very, very happy with it. I think it's obviously in the away kits to sell and all that jazz. But I do like it. I do like it. I like the fact that Mbeumo is playing off the right-hand side. I like the fact that we've got Santos and Tielemans in there. I mean, are we seeing a bit of a pathway to the team for Marcus Rashford, potentially? I don't know what your thoughts are on that. The fact that Cunha is playing in at the 10, could be an indicator on that, I suppose. But look, we paid £65 million for Mbeumo, and he is playing there out on the wing, isn't he? So I think that I don't have a massive problem with that. I think that's what we bought him for, and I'm pretty happy about it. So let me know your thoughts on that. Look, I watched the game last night between Coventry and Arsenal. Hopefully that's an indicator of what we're going to get today against a newly promoted team. And look, we want to get off to a good start. I think that obviously it's a marathon, not a sprint. And we will have to go to Anfield. We will have to go to the Emirates. We're going to get all those games. But on paper, it's a start to the season that I think we have a really good opportunity to start well. And obviously everyone will say we've got an easy start to the season. But, you know, it is what it is. And I think you've got to put those... You've got to win games like this, haven't you? So yeah, it's good. Your camera's a bit weird. I know. I don't really know why it's low frames per second. I don't know. It's I don't know what's wrong with it. Apologies for that, but we'll just have to see what we can do. Let me see if I can sort anything. Our technical guys. Or if anybody's in the chat knows how to do it, that will do. No, Neville stole the FPS. Restart the camera. I am still here. You should be able to hear that. I don't think it's going to... Come on, there's got to be somebody out there who can help me out with this. You don't get this on the overlap. I know it's all black now, but it will come back. Yeah. I don't know whether that's changed it at all. I wonder if it's like... Let's have a look. Video. It says 920 1080. And it says FPS 25. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with it. Yeah, we'll just have to turn it off and on again. Done that. Up the frame the FPS to 25, up to 30. Increase frame per second. This is we don't want this on a first stream, do we? I've knocked it up there, but I don't know whether that's going to make any difference for you lot. Let me know. We should be back now. We're just sorting a few technical issues here. I have just knocked it from 25 to 50, so that probably does help. I've literally changed nothing. So, looks fine. Bit rate issues. Let's have a look. I love all this stuff, as you know. Output is 7,300. So that's fine. Appearance, font, I don't know about that. Video, yeah. Audio's nothing to do with it. OBS is saying 50 frames per second. I wonder if I wonder if it's... I'm just wondering if I might have knocked the camera. Oh! I've definitely done something. I've done something again! The camera was a little bit loose, so I'm just wondering if that might be something to do with it. We're just working through a few issues here. Where does this go? I love all this. Tech Bridge. You're something to do with something. You're something to do with something. You don't get this on Sky. I personally think it was the wire had come a little bit loose. I think that's what it was. I've frozen now. Well, you can still hear me. That's the main thing. Properties. There we go. That seems a little bit better now. We'll have to have a look at this in the future, I think. Still choppy. Still not fixed. I'm just gonna have to go with this. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. So, the camera is normal. The frame rate is normal. So we're just gonna have to go with it now. I don't know why it's doing it. I know what you mean. It's like it's a bit choppy on the screen. It seems a little bit slow, but you know, we've got producers for this sort of thing, and they're stumped by it as well. Oh God. Anyway, lots of people saying it's okay now, so we're just going to carry on. But let me know your thoughts on the team. Okay. What the fuck have I done? I'm massive now. That's... Why is that so big? Why am I so big? Has that made it any better? I think it's made me massive. What have I done? That does seem a little bit better to me, but I'm just very big. Seems smoother. Let me have a look. What can I do? That's locked. Oh, this is a bloody nightmare. Live on stream. What have I don't even know what I'm doing here. This is why you shouldn't touch things. Output. Video. Fuck knows what I've done now. Oh, I'm still massive. Right, go back to that. Okay. I'm going back to that now. Just have to see what it is. Okay, right, I'm just going to carry on with... I'm just going to get on with the stream now. I mean, fucking hell, we're live for the opening game of the season. There's literally no point trying to fix things. You either go with this or you fuck off, basically. Right, it was the bloody pink boot, says Marcus. Says Christopher, thank you. I can see your nose hair, says Mike. When you get to a certain age, that happens. Please get close to the camera, Mark, says 1 Inch Wonder. Need to upgrade from dial-up. That's not the problem, Wolfie. Why do you think Sesko is not starting as striker, says Than? Well, I've been too busy looking at bloody camera settings to try and figure out what this is all about. But let me have a quick look at the bench for United. Actually, I don't like where that is either. It needs to be over a little bit. There we go. Get me a little bit more central. So, as you know, Le Mans in goal, Mazraoui at right back, Maguire, Heaven, Shaw, Santos, Tielemans, Mbeumo, Bruno, Dorgu, Cunha. And then on the bench, you've got Dalot, Darlow, Lacey, Mainu, Martinez, Rashford, Yoro, Xerxes, and Sesko. The reason Sesko is on the bench is because he's only just started playing football again. He's not had a pre-season. So I think we can all safely say that the reason for that is because he's not ready to play. So I think that's absolutely fine. I've just realised I've got Lincoln Portsmouth on here. So there we go. What's your score prediction? I've gone 4-0, Sean. Mark, I don't know about you, but I love this lineup. Dorgu on the left is exciting. Cunha false 9 is more natural. And Mbeumo and Mazraoui also great. And I think Tielemans and Santos is a good midfield too. Thank you very much for your super chat, Rajaf. Liam, who's one of our members, says probably kicked it loose when you fell yesterday. Hope the back is okay. All the best for the season. Loving the new content and face for radio anyway, says Liam. Thank you. What's our best centre-back partnership? Do you think it's De Ligt and Heaven? Says Aaron. That's what he thinks. I'm glad that Heaven's playing. Yeah, I am glad that... and look, there's an interesting comment from Josh Parker who's laughing that Mainu's not starting. But I think you can look at that Man United side and you can say that we're probably in a situation where we know that Mainu will start games of football for Manchester United. And we know that Rashford's probably going to come in for Dorgu at some point as well. So I think it's just early in the season for people like Mainu and Rashford, to be honest. Owen Hargreaves has given the transfer window 7 out of 10. Owen Hargreaves is a prat then, isn't he? I mean, this is what happens when you get people who don't know about Manchester United talking about Manchester United. I mean, how can you give it a 7 out of 10? Last day on holiday in Greece, found a local bar to play the game. We need a win today. Anything else isn't good enough, says Constantine. Luke Shaw for captain, says Ross. Hello, Mark and United Stand. Hope you're well and having a good day, says Daniel. Kev, thank you very much as well. Welcome to the Members Club. Remember, if you are not a member of the United Stand, you definitely should be. We've got loads of bonus content around Rooney, answering your members' questions when I met him at his house. And we also do a weekly Fantasy Premier League video there with me and H on there as well. So I've got Bruno, Maguire and Dalot in my Fantasy Premier League team today, which is great. Why are people saying Luke Shaw for captain? The captain is Bruno Fernandes. I don't know what that's all about. What would you give the transfer window out of 6? I do not know what I would give it out of 6. Yeah. Sorry, out of 10. I think that I would give it a 5. 5, and a generous 5 I would give it, because I think that you've got no left back, you've got no backup striker, and as much as I hope that Tielemans and Baleba and Santos do really well, I think it's also very obvious that we didn't get what we wanted. I think United have done a great job at covering that up, by the way, pretending that Santos, Tielemans and Baleba were first choice, but they weren't. So I heard somebody say this yesterday, and I completely agree with it, so I'm going to steal it. We're all hoping that these 3 midfielders are going to do really, really well. We could have bought better. And I think that's a good, fair analysis. It's not that we don't like them. It's not that we don't think they're any good. But we obviously could have bought better. I mean, I sort of look at this market, and I'm going to do a watch-along for Spurs later. And I really wish we had bought a Tonali. I wish we'd just bought... I don't mind Baleba and Santos and then, Tonali. I don't mind Tielemans and Baleba and then a Tchouaméni. But I really wish we had got an absolute top midfield signing. But, yeah, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. There's still time to get other people in. I don't like Dorgu at left wing. He's not a left winger or a left midfielder. He's an attacking left back at most, says Sarvish. I personally think Dorgu's position is going to be Rashford's position, and Cunha maybe is going to be a striker. Maybe that's what's going to happen. But, yeah. Sorry, this is very confusing. Please do share the video. Over 22,000 watching already. 12 minutes away from kickoff. Someone's talking to me about Premier League predictions. That's on That's Football, mate. This is the United Stand, so appreciate your comments, but probably not going to get a lot of reaction to that. Whereabouts is Ahmad? Not even on the bench for today. Yeah, where is Ahmad? I'll find out for you. He must have a knock. Yeah, good point. I mean, look, actually, that's a bloody great point. That's super chat of the day. That is an absolutely brilliant point, because Jake says, where is Ahmad? Picked up an injury, according to Matt, our producer. So, look, I suppose even that, like, I would have wanted to see Ahmad playing today, and clearly he's not. Sorry, I'm happy to see Mbeumo playing on the wing today, but that's probably only because Ahmad's injured then. So as much as I'm praising Mbeumo out on the wing, if Ahmad had been fit, he probably would have played, wouldn't he, if we're being fair. 1990, welcome to the Members Club. You're a legend. Don't forget to check out all the extra content. Thanks for getting your badge in. I hope you lot chasing us and not a blue team, says True Gent, who's an Arsenal fan. How many games until they all realise Shaw's legs have gone? Pick a card. I hope it's not our first game. Give it a few at least, says Nick P. Whereabouts is Ahmad? Not even on the bench. Done that one from Jake. I like the new guy in the prediction show better than Robbie. I thought the banter between you was incredible to watch, says Mike. I don't like Dorgu. Done that from Sarvesh. How long before Carricky starts going grey, says Mike. He's on the cusp, I think. First ever super chat from Raki. He says, much love from Australia. Excited football's back. I heard broadcasters saying that Mainu not starting will cause him to want out. I think it's rubbish. I mean, come on. Absolute rubbish. I completely agree with you. Mainu's come back from the World Cup and he's not really had a pre-season. Tillemans and Santos, especially Santos, have had a big pre-season, so they're starting a game. It's a long season. There's so many games, Champions League, etc. So I don't have a huge issue with that, no, at all. I think Mainu won't play as much as last year. I think Tillemans and Baleba will be the main starting two, but a lot of rotation, says Gaza. Well, look, that was my hot take, wasn't it, on Stick to United with Wazza. He said he wants to see Aidan Heaven as a starting centre-back. We've got that. And I said, I think either Tillemans or Mainu will spend quite a lot of time on the bench this season. Well, it's Mainu at the moment. I don't think... My point is, I don't think you can... I don't think you can play Tillemans and Tillemans and Mainu. Finally, a good time to watch the Watchalong in Melbourne, Australia. It's 9:14 on a Saturday night and don't have to wake up at 2 a.m, says James. Yeah, big shout out to all our fans around the world. Make sure you let us know where you're watching from. I know that we have a lot of viewers from Australia. A lot of viewers from Australia. When was the last time we had a strong bench like this, says Jack. And you know, I think that's another big reason why we will win. It was interesting what Carrick said, actually. He said he didn't expect anybody to leave because nobody's asked to leave. And I thought to myself, I'm thinking about Xerxes here. Michael, it's not up to the player to ask to leave. You're meant to tell them to leave. Like with Xerxes, we should be telling him to leave. Shout out to Dave in Australia, working the mines, says Bruno. It's my birthday. I hope we can get a win. Says not a number. Happy birthday. TC says, want to say thank you for picking my question about the youth with Rooney, which was the last one. You've made my dream come true, and I'll never forget it. I've been watching for years. Glad to be a part of this amazing community. TC, thank you very much for your super chat. Just remember, if you are a member and you do submit your questions in the bonus material that we do with Rooney, you could get a question read out to Rooney, which is exactly what I had to TC. So welcome to the Members Club, and don't forget to keep your eye out for those sort of things. That is a huge part of why we've done what we've done with Wayne Rooney this year, is to try and get access to him for you to do your questions and stuff like that. Who's happy the Premier League is back, says Dylan. I think we all are, Dylan, and we're happy you're back as well. Hope you're doing well. Am I watching the United stand? Or am I looking at you under a microscope? I think that was from when my head got very big, Mike. Thank you. What's worse in 2026? Okay, Ryan, thank you very much for your support. Appreciate that. Great timing for the match here in Malaysia. Score 3-0 to us, Mark, says Tony. And let's start off this season with a win, says Sixers. Checking in from Calgary, Canada, 5:22 a.m. And Robert McCormack says, this is very good. This is very, very good. Robert McCormack says, how many shots of Rashford from the camera today? Can I tweet that? I am going to tweet that. I'm going to say 10 before he comes on. Do you think that's optimistic? You can reply to that on my tweet at Mark Goldbridge on X if you're on there. Ernest is watching from Houston. Here we go again. Another 9 months of ups and downs. Let's hope United doesn't let us down. Cheers from Canada, says Snoopy. Brett's gifted a membership as well. Carrick said that Ahmad had a knock in training, says Jay. Dorgu lacks composure in the final third. And if I didn't watch football for 5 years or so and someone told me our squad list was the squad of Spurs or Everton, I'd believe it. It's unimpressive, says Alms. Did Robbie come to Old Trafford in a United shirt? No, he didn't. Actually, that's a very fair point. He didn't. I mean, I'm not pushing it because we're not doing Premier League predictions together this season. But yeah, take that up with him. That didn't happen. I'm just having a quick look here at something. Let me have a quick look. Should be able to tell you in a moment. I can multitask. Mark, after leaving Indian scouting department, I've moved to a local sports club in Mumbai and I'm doing my PhD in sports science. Thanks for the support, says Rahul. Well, I'm sorry that it didn't work out, Rahul. You know, he had a really interesting job to sort things out, but it didn't work. So onwards and upwards, pal. Onwards and upwards. Yeah. After the Milan friendly, Hull's formation worries me as we really struggled. Hull are more used to this than Milan were. Sorry, that didn't work. We've got a new player rating system. That's not what I was looking at. We have got a new player. I forgot. Yeah, we had a bit of problems at the start of the stream. We are here now. Did you hear what Ricky said about you? No, Celestial, but if you want to tell me, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer it. I haven't shown you the Hull lineup. They are about to come out onto the pitch now. This is how Hull are lining up. I know next to nothing about Hull. And it's probably not a city I'd ever visit either. 3-4-3 by the looks of it, but that could end up being a 5-4-1. It's all about how Hull approach the game, really. Do they go for it at the start? Or do they sit in and look to counter? I think that's going to be the interesting thing, certainly. Mark, not to be pessimistic already, but Coventry and Hull's first team look horrid. It's quite sad, really, says Ewan. Captain, certainly the cold ones, but new title loading, says JB. And very happy Mazraoui is playing. Hopefully he carries on his form from the World Cup. What United players do you have in your FPL, says Sam. Well, I've been done there, haven't I? Because I've got Delot, I've got Maguire, and I've got Bruno. So Delot will definitely come on at some point, which means that's not going to get me many points. I've been watching the channel since 2017, says Zach. Stick to United is what made me become a member. Please let Gary know. I'll let him know. Well, the thing is, like, loads of people moaned about, like, the content behind the membership. But we don't have any space on the channel to put the membership stuff up. And the membership stuff is also really well-produced stuff with Rooney and Fantasy Premier League. So we do Stick to United, which is at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday, and there is other stuff coming out. But, you know, it's a thank you to our members who support us, really, that we're doing that extra stuff for you. So if you don't want to be a member, that's fine. But there's a load of good stuff behind there. Great to be back for another season. Thanks, Mark, says Explorac. And let's go, bro. Waiting for Monday's Chelsea game and mandatory Arteta, says Rub. Yeah, some good games. I mean, obviously, we're all about Manchester United at the moment, but I didn't know that Targay played for Hull. You know, the French fullback who used to be at Aston Villa. I didn't realise he was at Hull. He's on their bench there. Watching from here in Edmonton, Canada, says Mr. Joe. Thank you. Desiree says it's 7:27 a.m. in Quebec, and that's not going to work. I've just realised my timer is in the wrong place. Good job. I realised at the right time. Just bear with. Where is second half gone? There it is. Yeah, the timer would not be on the screen if I didn't hurry up. There we go. Yeah, it's 7:27 a.m. in Quebec. Well, it's probably 7:29 now, if I'm being honest. I can't believe Shaw is still our left back. I mean, this is still an area that we need to look at, obviously, in the coming days and months. Jarbar Drinks, welcome to the members club. She Loves Cowgirl has got a couple of eyes and a pair of lips there. James says, I love Beth Tucker. She is 10 out of 10, looks wise and knowledge. Okay. Our left will be overloaded. I don't trust Shaw now, says Hittin. Ask Wazza what it was like to play with Roy Keane. says St. Jimmy. Good question. Thank you very much for that. Thanks for all the early super chats. You can do that through the $sign, of course. And thanks everybody who's tuning in. We've got 26,000. Please do share the video. We are ready to go here for a new season. I'm going to go Manchester United 4, Hull 6. No, I'm not. I'm going to go Manchester United 4, Hull 1. That's my score prediction. I fancy goals today. So let me know your score predictions. Get ready to go. Are you ready? I'm ready. The second game of the Premier League season. It's a newly promoted side against a top side. It's been very hot in the UK. We're up and running. Yeah, it's been very hot in the UK over the last 2 months. We've had very little rain, but typically on the opening day of the Premier League season here, it's actually overcast and miserable. But there we go. Straight out of Cloyne, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for joining. Nice ball by Luke Shaw there. Go on, Dorgu. Oh, go on, Shaw. Given a foul, given an offside. Do you see Dorgu being a left-back or a left-winger in a few years' time? I think we should develop him being in an attacking left-back similar to Mendes. What are your thoughts, says Artads. I like Dorgu, and what bothers me about Dorgu is a lot of people sort of... I'm just going to knock that down a bit. Yeah, a lot of people with Dorgu sort of have a pop at him. And, yeah, I think at left-back there was a few problems there. But I think when he went to the attack under Carrick in that January, he was brilliant. So, nice little ball by Mazraoui there. I was just getting a little bit confused between Mazraoui and Mbeumo there. Because they've both got bald heads. But... got to get used to the new haircut. But I thought it was Mbeumo knocking the ball forward to Mbeumo there, but it was Mazraoui, Delo on the bench. Anyway, with Dorgu, I don't know what Dorgu's future's going to be, but I think he's a really good player. How does Rashford get the number 9 shirt, says Wayne? Biggest earner. 7:30 from Liverpool, New York. Let's go United, says Omar. Welcome to Members Club, Moose 1. Welcome back, Mark. I'm going 3-0, says Grand Prairie Cobra. Thanks, pal. David says, we back. Please can you call my brother Max a prat, says Dylan. Targay is English, says Irish. I think you might want to check Wikipedia there. God says, camera frame rate is on potato mode, mate. Yeah, we're fully aware something's gone wrong with it. We're just going to have to work our way through it today. Ange welcomes the Members Club. Thank you. We've lost the get out of jail free card on corners and free kicks. Now Casemiro is gone. The bloody floodlights are on here. The floodlights are on. That was from Graham Barber. If Ahmad, Mount and De Ligt were available, who do you think would be dropped from the bench, says Gamer King? Oh, I don't know. Lovely ball out from the back by Heaven into Dorgu. Good movement to the ball here. Tillemans over the top. Bruno. And the keeper will get there. But that ball over the top looking dangerous again. Tillemans can do that. I'm watching from Greece, says Lewis. Stephen says he's looking forward to the game and the rest of the season. I'm a member and you're a legend. Thank you very much, Stephen. How far do you think United will get in the Champions League? Quarterfinals, hopefully. So just observing this first few minutes here, Hull certainly not, and it's a shame really because I hoped they would, but Hull definitely not going for it. Eye of the Tiger first 20 minutes. I was hoping they might go a little bit gung-ho, play to the crowd, but actually it's a lovely ball in behind by Hull, though. Be careful. Looks like they're playing in a rugby kit to me. Ooh, good defending by Mazraoui there. It was a good cross in by Hull, and then Burmo's got it here. Goes out for a throw in. It's a lovely cross by Hull, but brilliant defending by Mazraoui. Look at this for a cross. It's right into that back post. If that's Delo, I'm worried. But Mazraoui, very good defending there. We've struggled with that for years, haven't we, that back post cross? But did well. Any chance of ever getting Sir Alex on a sit-down with Rooney, says Jason. I think the thing with Sir Alex now is he's well into his 80s. You've got to let the man retire. Sitting down and doing an hour and a half interview, I just think let him enjoy his retirement, you know. Last season I predicted top 6. This I'm predicting top 2, says Moose1. And Oishan says, what's a good season for you? Quarters, champs, qualification and domestic trophy. Tielemans should hopefully free up Bruno even more. Yeah, exactly. I think you're absolutely spot on. Good season for United for me, I think, is to improve on 3rd place. Hit the quarterfinals of the Champions League and win a domestic trophy, I suppose. 75 months a member, another new season ahead, says Niall. Let's hope it's a good one, all things aside. Always glad to have your watch along, Mark. Well, thank you for being part of us for so long, Niall. Mark, you need to check Wikipedia, you prat. He's English, says Jack. I'm telling you now, Matt Targay is French. Hi, Mark. Is the membership and the season ticket one now? Also asked for a new renewal, and after I did, it told me welcome to season ticket. Yeah, they just changed the name of it, Kev. Yeah. Basically, if you're a member, they call you a season ticket holder now. And you get access to everything. Good running. Tielemans has had a good start. And he's given a foul there. Yeah, good start by Tielemans. He's in amongst it. The interesting thing about Tielemans is that he plays right side midfield. And I'm not lost on this. Tielemans plays right side midfield and Santos plays left side midfield. But when Mainu plays left side midfield. So does that mean that Tielemans could play with Mainu? Or is it just that when Mainu plays, Santos or Baleba would go to the right side? I think it's probably the latter. I think Tielemans likes to play more right. That's my thoughts. Hopefully we can start strong today using my free message. Hope you're well, mate, says James. Thanks for being a member, James. I'm good. Come on, United. 4-0 prediction today, says Dave. Whatever happened to Anthony Robinson from Fulham? Thought he was always ending up at United. Well, he still could, Ewan. Still could. But yeah, Hull definitely doing the low block. Which, to be honest, is exactly what I would do against United. But I had hoped they'd be a little bit braver. I'm not calling them cowards. I'm just saying I would like them to... I've got a horrible kit, though, Hull, haven't they? It really is a terrible football kit. Like to say thanks, Mark, for more content for the members, says Dan. No worries. Check the members club out if you're not a member by clicking the join button. Long throw in by Mazraoui. And it's going to get bouncing around here. Tielemans into Maguire. Ooh. He says play on. I tell you what, I think Maguire's a bit lucky there. I think they both maybe went for the same ball. I thought Maguire says it was a foul on him. But the referees let it go. I mean, I'm all for referees letting it go, to be honest. I'd like to see a replay of it, and he's given a foul there. Mark Targay, best French left back in the league. If you know, you know, Peter. Yeah. Probably was a foul by Maguire, I think. I think the Hull player gets ahead of Maguire. 50-50. Good call, ref. I think referee's angle probably looks like they both hit each other. Play on. A bit grim, but I think there is no hope for our club until the owners are removed. No matter what they spin, we will never get better with them, says Mr. Zan. I had a message from somebody the other day. I need to bring it into an 8 o'clock show where they were basically saying that they think Man United are preparing for a sale because boosting your profits, sacking half your workforce, building a new stadium, these are the sort of things you'd do to make your profits look good before a sale. So I don't know. I was very unhappy with Sesko and Le Mans. I'm unhappy with Belaber and Santos. Hopefully I'm wrong twice, says Oishan. Yeah, that would be good. I'm going through a devastating breakup, says Manas. I feel like I did that with a little bit too much passion. I'll go back. I'm going through a devastating breakup. Your old cooking with videos have given me so much comfort. Any advice on moving on and detachment? I think like with anything, mate, whether it's a breakup of a relationship or a death of a cat, you've got to grieve. And that's what I think people, they want to move on to quickly. It's a wound. It's got to heal. But it will heal. It will heal because the human nature has this amazing ability to heal. And when you're ready, get back on the horse and ride it. And you're doing exactly the right thing. Whilst you're healing, do things that you enjoy. You might not enjoy them as much as you would when you're in a better mood, but, you know, get out on a walk, watch a film that you like, that sort of stuff. A bit grim, but I think there is no hope for our club until the owners are removed, no matter what they spin. That was from Mr. Zan. Is the members giveaway just for new members, Mark? Loved seeing the growth of the channel. No, all members giveaways will be for everybody, Jay. We've definitely got a few Rooney shirts over the season to give away. I mean, Hull to me do not look like a team that can knock the ball about. So I would be Nova. Welcome to the Members Club and Elim as well. Jay, thank you very much. Watched Hull in the Championship last year and they won't attack. They were bottom 5 possession, even in the Championship. They'll just frustrate, says Ewan. It's definitely one of those goals if you can get an 67% possession for United, which is quite rare for us. So it's definitely one of those games where if we can get an early goal, it will change the Hull approach. And it's definitely one of those games that the longer we don't score, the better the more confident they will get. It's good to be back. Thanks for all your comments. I've been watching you since 2021. You're the reason I started watching United seriously. I thank you for this. Love for United, says Wesley. Thank you, pal. Luke Shaw looking a bit sluggish, says Saint Ham. Long time, mate. Congratulations on Rooney. What's your score prediction, says K1. I've gone 4-1. Midris says, it's good to be back. Also going for a United win and look out for Miller for Hull. Good player. Canadian, played at the World Cup, says Midri. Well, there you go. Shout out for Miller, who's not actually... He's on the bench. He's not actually in their starting lineup, but if he comes on. Hull bridge ball, says Zach. Thanks for all your super chats. We'll read those out as they come in. Nearly 40,000 tuning in here already. It's an interesting ball by Luke Shaw. Hit it, Mbermo. Oh, what a save. What a shot. What a save. What a hit by Mbermo. They made a right mistake. Hull at the back. Never let a cross bounce. And I thought Mbermo was going to score an absolute banger here. Luke Shaw's cross is not very good, but they don't deal with it, Hull. Two of them let it bounce, and it's a good... From that angle, it's good technique, that, from Mbermo. And the keeper just has to get something on it, and he did. Bad defending by Hull, but United nearly taking advantage. Think we tried to move Rashford on before the window closes. Want to see Sesko start when healthy. None of this super stub nonsense, says Thomas. Well, look, there's an opportunity for Rashford, even in this game. I can't see, you know... Dorgu's going to end up putting in the hard yards against the low block. And if we can score, Rashford will probably get to come on against a bit of space in the last 20 minutes, half an hour, and hopefully score a goal. Nick says, would you rather Dorgu over Shaw at left back? No, not really. Yeah, not for me. I do, as much as I don't think Luke Shaw's up to it anymore, I wouldn't put him at right back. I wouldn't put Dorgu over ahead of him. Lovely switch of the play by Bruno. And Mazraoui pushes forward, gets it into Cunha on the turn shot, straight at the goalkeeper. Not really enough power there, but a good use of the space from Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. Yeah, we've got a new player ratings system. I will give you the link in the second half. So if you're part of the old one, what a save by Le Mans! Oh, I tell you what, I mean, he's done it again. How many times does Le Mans make goal-changing saves? I mean, that's a goal. He does this all the time. That Hull player can't really do a hell of a lot more. It's a great header. And I mean, look, it gets to, look, people will say it's a standard save. I still think it's a good save because it's all about your positioning. It's all about your timing. And I mean, maybe it wasn't a worldie, but it was still a good save. A big save as well. And how many times is he going to do that for us this season? Very good. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Well, we've probably been the better side, but that was a bit of a warning sign from Hull. We don't want them scoring first. But only 15 minutes gone. No need to be too worried yet. I'm still just thinking, get the first goal, and I think it's game over. Hull don't look like they've got much of a game plan beyond being well organised. Although they come forward here. It's a nice little ball. Don't score now. Good play. Good play again by Le Mans, dealing with the cross. Yeah, it's sort of a cross that looked like it was going to go in, so he's had to deal with that. But it's a corner here for Hull. Plenty of height in United's centre-back positions. Obviously no Casemiro anymore. Oh! Oh, no! No! Oh, we didn't want that to happen. Hull have scored. Hull have scored first. It's from a corner. Le Mans, I was about to say, what a great save by Le Mans. And now I'm saying we are 1-0 down from a corner. Ajayi. We did not want that. We did not want that. Gotta defend this better. Can't tell you what's happened yet until I see it. Corner. It flicks up. Oh, it's a great save by Le Mans. He makes an absolutely brilliant save. Heaven loses his man on the back post. I don't even know if anybody's really... It's a great save by Le Mans onto the post, and I suppose it's who's meant... The only thing I would say there is who's meant to be reacting to this second ball, because he's just got a free kick in. I mean, there's so many... My criticism is here... It's musical statues again, isn't it? I think that the save by Le Mans is absolutely incredible, but the reaction to the danger, there's 3 Hull players who are hungry, and I don't know what United players are there that are meant to move, but it's a brilliant save by Le Mans. I don't even blame Heaven on the back post. I think it just deflects into the pathway of McBurney. Le Mans makes a great save, and from that point, I think you've got to apportion some blame. I don't know who to. I'm just going to say Luke Shaw. I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know whether it's Luke Shaw's fault. But there's 3 Hull players for the tap-in. And, well, Brit Ace is blaming Luke Shaw. I don't know whether he is at fault, but we're so slow to react. And, yeah, I mean, long way to go. But you don't want to be going 1-0 down in a game like this. But, oh, I tell you what, we've reacted quickly in the past. And that goes through to the keeper. New season, same problem, says Ryan. Well, there was a warning just before it, wasn't there, with Le Mans? There was a warning right before that. But even with the goal, he's made a brilliant save. Long way to go. You know what you can do if you're... You know what? If you're coming in here to take the piss, you better come in with a shield and and a sword, because I'm ready. There's a long way to go. We're not having any of that. We've got a good start to the season, and you can swivel on it with your, oh, wow. I've noticed it's gone up by 10,000 just because we're losing, but I'll tell you this for free. Come back in 90 minutes. There's a long way to go here. We're still in this fight. I'm telling you, we're still in this fight. This is a homage to the GOAT, Kevin Keegan. We're still in this fight. You know, there's a second half to go. We've got Rashford on the bench. You know, you don't disrespect that. Plenty of time to go. Coming in here because we're losing. Scum. Subhuman scum. Deal with the cross. Deal with the cross. Yeah, just is that a problem though with United? Is that a lack of? Is there a little bit of a lack of pace in the team? Very slow to react on that second ball. We'll have a look at it at half time. Here's Cunha. Luke Shaw's pushing forward, only because he knows we're trying to buy a left back. With Casemiro gone, we've lost aerial prowess, says Dave. I mean, this is a great point, and we're all fully aware of that. The Casemiro thing hasn't been replaced. I don't think Baleba is particularly known for being good in the air. I don't think Santos is, and Tielemans certainly won't. So, and you haven't got Sesko in the team who can help as well. Carrick needs to do some major changes at half-time. This midfield is absolutely non-existent. A little bit early to go in on the midfield user 66. Height is going to be a problem, says Louis. We just bought 3 players, the tallest one being 1.8 metres. If Maguire's not playing, who's going to win a header, says Louis. We really need a win today and something to celebrate. Found out yesterday my routine operation will be 2 weeks earlier, trying to get my head around it, says Ross McRae. Good luck with that, Ross. You're in the right place. A United player started the move for their corner, says Kenneth. I knew it. It's like the whole team froze for a split second off the rebound. I wonder what this does for confidence, says Moose One. Long way to go. Here we go. Mbermo. He's had a great pre-season. He was very unlucky with the cross. That's a great cross. But the keeper's there, and I think that's going to be a foul. Dorgu went for it, but keeper seemed to get there. Why is Maguire marking and holding Mbermo? It's probably what they call zonal marking. Lacey in, I think he is the answer, says Rian. Life without Casemiro, says Abraham's little ponytail. We can't get beaten by a team who look like they're wearing a Comedy B costume. Nick P. Yeah, we're losing to bumblebees here. We're losing to bumblebees. Nick P, that's very good. Did you not see Maguire holding Mazraoui, says Mark. I think it might have been Mbermo. Still haven't learned how to pronounce Le Mans, says Hugh. New season, same problem, says Ryan. League's well and truly in United's hands, Mark, says RJ. I think that was before the goal. I'm in hospital watching you, says Stephen. Well, I'm feeling a bit ill at the moment as well. Maguire deals with that cross. Trouble with Hull is they got the tails up now. That's going to go out, surely. Luke Shaw is useless, says Britace. New season, same shit, says Swami. Title charge starts now, says Cal. Rashford effect, says Truckee. Got to convert those chances. Hull would be content with a draw, says What's the N. McBurney has always been a handful, says Robert McCormack. I just think Marcus is a distraction from what we're trying to do. I think moving him would be best for everyone. The great thing is, Thomas, and Robert actually started this pre-match, is I don't think the cameras have been to Rashford once yet. So at least that's changing, because I think we all expected to see a lot of that. People need to do some research on Dorgu. Played most of his career at left-back before signing for us. To say he can't play there is lazy, says Rory. Missed this. Great news for the channel recently, says Francis. Thank you, and thanks for being a member. John says it's a bit of a slow start. I feel like we need a few more crosses into the box and maybe a couple more warning shots, says John. Jim says your 25-26 resolution should be to abolish Jinx Bridge. We are going to struggle against their low block now, says Glenn. Maybe not. Oh, Dorgu with a cross shot there. He was a bit unlucky. I don't know how he got the shots off, but he did. And I tell you what, if he'd have got this on target, Bruno into Dorgu on the spin. Did well. Did well. Yeah, he did do well. We're going to struggle against their low blocks, says Glenn. I think it is time to sack the manager, says Sam. Started watching when I was in school. Now I'm expecting my first daughter. Any suggestions on names, Marks? Greetings from Baltimore. I'll tell you into a little bit of an insight. If Seb had been a girl, we were going to call him or her Gabriella. I do like Francesca as well. Cunha in 9 always leaves us short up top, says Simon. Can't deal with another season of this, says Aki. Very early days. We're lacking pace in defence for sure, says Cal. It's too simple to have Maguire, Mark, McBurney. Is it too simple, says Ryan? Yeah, but I think... Let's go back to the keeper. I think you've also got to say that I don't think Aiden Heaven did anything wrong. I've seen a few people in the chat trying to blame him. The cross comes in when you'll see it at half time. And look, we've only had 26 minutes. Feels like a lot longer because we're losing. Still a good 20 minutes left of this half. The aim's got to be to get back level before half time. And then second half, we've got a strong bench. But I think when you look at the corner, and I'm the first person to blame people, the cross comes in and it deflects off somebody right into the path of a run that McBurney and Heaven are doing on the back post. But it deflects into the path of McBurney. You can't defend that. So I don't blame Aiden Heaven. Brilliant save by the keeper. And then where the blame is why 3 Hull players react quicker than we do. That's switching off. Graham Souness voice, you've got to ask throughout this, what was Luke Shaw doing? I've played the game. And you've got to ask questions there. You know. Crap flick. Why is Luke Shaw doing flicks when we're 1-0 down? Yeah, I do think Santos and Tillemans have probably got to do a little bit better. Numpty says, how long till heads drop? Bruno starts waving his arms about. And we get Carrick out and bring in Eddie Howe. Hey, come on. My prediction was 4-1. To Manchester United. Will we ever get a live Stick to United show with audience? That's a great idea, Vlad. That is a great idea. And to be honest, I've sort of heard something about a live show, Stick to United. I know you're talking about live on YouTube. I've heard mumblings, keep your ears to the ground, that we might do a venue. Paul says there's definitely haters. 10k extra views when we conceded. Yeah, well, they better stick about when we're winning. That's what all I'm going to say. How can we still not defend cross as well, says Daly. It's got to stay composed here. This is a good challenge, opening game of the season. Because remember, Ipswich will be looking at this and they'll go, let's go to Old Trafford and do the same. We've got such a good start to the season on paper. We should be getting 6 points. Just got to stay relaxed. Oh! What a cross by Maguire. Lovely cross. I mean, look, I didn't think he had this in his locker. I mean, he's got a lot of time, but it's a lovely cross. Dorgu's so close. Unfortunately, that should be a corner as well. Unfortunately, we don't really have anybody to get on the end of it. I don't know what people expect from a failed championship manager. The transfer window was pathetic, but Carrick was an embarrassing hire, says Nemanja. Jesper says, you said something about being top of the league after 4 games. What about now? Mate, we're 29 minutes into the game. If we win this game, then that's very, very possible, isn't it? Iraqi says we could use an out-and-out striker in this game, not keeping them busy enough, getting caught on the counter. Vinay says, Vinay! Hey, Vinay! Says, truly shocking defending, no presence in the air anymore. Gamaldo's just laughing. Do you think United will have a successful season, says Ahmad, and congratulations on your recent success. Look, there's no reason why. Well, lovely play by... Oh, no, maybe not. That's our throw-in. Frank says it could be a long season by the look of things. Look, we've got a lot of players to come in. You've got Sesko, you've got Martinez, you've got De Ligt, you've got Rashford, you've got Baleba now. Hopefully we'll sign another player as well. So we have got a lot of players to come in. Jamie says Le Mans is pronounced Le Mans. Fine. 30 minutes into the game and everyone already calling for Carrick is baffling. This is why it's ridiculous, Patrick. There's Rashford. First time I've seen him on the camera. It's so real. You know, so... Is it real? So, is it so real you now work with ex-Man United players as OG? We are missing Amrim's pressing and intensity. I feel it's been missing since our last Premier League win against Arsenal. Says... I don't know how to pronounce your name, mate. ST, I'm going to call you. What does Mainu not being pivotal in this year's midfield say to academy players coming through? Mate, Sam, you can't say that Mainu's not pivotal to our midfield because he didn't start against Hull when he had no pre-season. I'll tell you what, long throw-ins are back. Twice we've done that. And Burmo, keeper gets older. And Santos wanted a penalty there. I'd like to see that again because Santos went down. He didn't stay down because you can't stay down anymore. But this is Maguire's 8th season for United. Well, we're not going to see a replay. Went to Morrison's. That came back to watch your video to see Hull score, says Robbie. Can you do a shout out for my dad in Portugal, says Joe. Shout out for Joe's dad in Portugal. Only the first game of the season, says James. Let's not judge. We can win this. Only Hull's left back is better than ours, says Daniel. I thought De Ligt was ready, but they were going to give him rest and use only if necessary. New season and De Ligt still unavailable, says Sarvish. Irish Ryan says, I'm really thankful for the new rules. The game has really flowed. Last year felt like a dread getting up early to watch games. Yeah, that is a really important thing when you're watching games in the early hours. You want the game to flow. Certainly last night's game did, and it has today. Probably take the players a little bit of time to get used to that. Any chance of a refund for Carrick and those we signed? Sick of this club, says Shane. Too early, Shane. Well kept in by Shaw. Dorgu. Needed to put the cross in there. Why are we going so far back then? Ryan says, Mbermo and Dorgu both looking like they're going to score. Kenneth says, Rashford's on camera as soon as you say it. Why is no VAR call when they get it wrong with decision on corners, says Lee Marv. I don't know. I saw that yesterday as well with Coventry. They had a shot that deflected off... Mascara, and I thought, well, that'll get given as a corner now, and it didn't. It was Sahil who said it's Maguire's 8th season. Euro African says Carrick at the wheel. Yas says it was a bit unlucky for Le Mans to deflect the ball into the inside of the post. Punching the ball with both fists would work better than palming it. Nah, I think it's just I think it's an amazing save. He did well to keep it out. How can we have a good season with that back four, says Jack. Your defence is poor, says Richie. Dorgu yellow card? What are you talking about? He's coming off for Rashford. 30 minutes into the game, everyone already done that from Patrick. Thank you. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner, to do that. We're getting close to 287,000. Get involved with the United Stand. Live every night at 8 o'clock. I will be live at 8 o'clock tonight. We've also got our match reaction straight after the game where you can vote for the player ratings. We'll put the link in at half-time for you to get registered and ready to do that. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I tell you what, in this first 35 minutes, I'm struggling again to give any United player apart from the goalkeeper over a 6. And remember, 6 is average, so we need to see some better performances. I think Mbeumo's looked lively. Good. I think Mbeumo has looked lively, actually. He's probably our best outfield player. Here's Luke Shaw. And Mbeumo again wins a corner. Get the ball to Mbeumo. He looks our best player out there. Yeah, he looked really lively in pre-season, and I think he's having probably our best player so far. But here's a corner. This is why I've got Harry Maguire in my fantasy Premier League team. Set pieces for his last season were very big. Harry Maguire against his old club, and it's straight into the keeper's arms, which always sounds like a pub. Thanks everyone who's joined the members club, by the way. Get your badge in. Join the members club. Plus you get a load of extra access to our weekly Fantasy Premier League video, but also all the Rooney stuff. When Goldbridge met Rooney, went to his house, did some football skills and met him. And also this week he's been answering your questions all on the members section. So join the members club, get involved with that. Loads more to come as well. 10 minutes to go to half time. What are your thoughts? Another free kick by Tielemans there. I think my thoughts are it's a little bit... It's better than it was against AC Milan last week, but we've got to impose ourselves. I think my feedback would be we've got to impose ourselves. I mean, I watched Coventry Arsenal, and Arsenal really sort of grabbed the game and went, look, we're Arsenal, you know. And I think Man United need to grab the game and say, we're Manchester United. We've got some of the best players in the league here. And I think at the moment, it's just too much of an equal game for me. I think Carrick's lips said, let's put Marcus in for Patrick. Says, I think we will get Rashford on. I don't know. I don't think we've been that bad, and it's very obvious to me we're going to win this game. I think Tielemans has been poor, though, says Andre. Oh, we've got Man Utd to come on. We've got Rashford to come on. Oh, get out! Shut up! What are you talking about? We're losing to Bumblebee FC! It's 2-0! It's 2-0! And it's from another cross! Oh, I'm cross! I'm very cross! How are we conceding 2 bloody goals from crosses? I'm talking about Rashford and Mainu coming on and we're 2-0 down. Absolutely ridiculous. I tell you what, our defence may as well jump in a jar of honey because the bees are all over us here. Oh, I mean, what's the keeper supposed to do? Maguire, Luke Shaw, Mazraoui. I mean, just attack the bloody ball. Shocking defending. Fucking hell. Roy Keane was right. Our defence is shit. I mean, these are basics. What are they doing? Are they doing this? What are they doing? Oh, shut up. They're doing tiger things at us. In fact, have 2. Oh, I mean, look, the annoying thing about this is that it's just basics. All right, you might... Oh, my God. Heaven with a good recovery tackle there. We need half-time here. Amazon documentary's going to crack, says Matt Loves Football. Look, the problem with this is we've not been terrible. The problem with this game is we've not been terrible. That should be a yellow card. That should be a red... Yeah, that should be a yellow card, ref. The problem with this game is we've not been terrible. And you expect, away from home, opening game of the season, Hull are going to be up for it. But it really should be 0-0. Both the goals we've conceded are just lazy. The first goal, we don't react to it hitting the post. The second goal, nobody wants to go and win the ball. They're just crappy goals. Casemiro would have cleared that, says Tails. I think the Casemiro effect is true. I'm going to write it down. You know, I've got Maguire for a clean sheet. Oh, Bruno, you should be making that pass. No banter at all. I'm being serious. United are genuinely embarrassing as an institution, says Joe. We can still come back. 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. Get one back before half-time. This is good play. Oh, it breaks down. Why don't we try to not give away set pieces? Silly fouls and corners all the time. That's the root cause, says Bulbous. No physicality in the midfield, says John. Carrick must adapt and change at half-time, says Danny. Constantine, sorry for the negativity, but we can't overlook Heaven has had a poor game as well. I sort of resist blaming individuals in the defence. I just think overall it's not acceptable to concede those sort of goals. And if you're a defender, especially an experienced defender like Harry Maguire, you're going to look at that and go, what are we doing, lads? You know, I was excited for the season, says FW. Mate, we can still win this game. We can win this game. Get Dorgu out. Dorgu's not a left winger, says Fernando. I don't know how Dorgu's responsible for this, by the way. Should have got Mateus Fernandez, says CCM. Maguire and Shaw, serial losers, get rid, says Light and Dark Frames. And if this makes us panic to buy defenders, I'll take it, says Lex. Can we stop the Dorgu is a winger nonsense? Is not a future Bale, is not a future Marcelo. We need a left back. We'd better be lucky he's Evra, says Black Hammer. Sorry, done that one from Constantine. No physicality in the midfield, says Jean. Honestly, is Baleba going to change this, says Thementa. We're done, says Junkyard James. Can we press restart like we can in FIFA, says Jacob. Same old crap. Sure is shite, says Tony. And no banter at all. I'm being serious. United are genuinely embarrassing. Done that from Joe. Why done that? Casemiro would have cleared it. Can Carrick... Alan says Carrick needs to turn this around. Get Yoro in, says Rian. We're so back. Hope you're all happy with the summer transfer window. Harry Maguire still starting in the back four in 2026. He's abysmal, says Gar. Let's get behind the Glazers United that write off first few games every season, says Savish. Casemiro gone and we're dominated in the air. Praying Delit recovers quickly, says Dan. Thank you, pal. Oh, God, we need something before half time. What's happening? I know what's happening. We're losing, but what's happening with the stats? I don't think we've got the stats up. Sorry, we didn't put that in. There we go. They've had more shots on target than us. It's not good enough, is it? It's not good enough. Bruno. I get what you... J-Dead says Carrick is simming the match. I do agree with you, though. It is almost like when you start playing a game on your computer and you have a really bad start and you know you need to do better, so you just restart the game. Unfortunately, you can't do that in real life. Terrible header by Dorgu there. I mean, Dorgu's coming off for Rashford anyway. I mean, that's inevitable. 0 focal point, high pressing not working, no control possession, miscontrol everywhere, both fullbacks struggling to stop crosses, says Smoggy. Old adage, buy cheap, buy twice. It's early days though, isn't it? I mean, you're not going to get me sitting here saying Santos ain't good enough. Balaba's not even played a game yet. Tielemans as well. But it's stylistic. It's the low block, isn't it? We talk about PRV. Results, performance, results and vision. Obviously, we're not getting the result here at the moment, but the performance is strange. We have had 60% possession, but we've not created any chances from it. What's your best 11 when everyone's available, says Bobby? Well, I don't think it comes down to a best 11. I think it comes down to a style of play. I mean, this is Santos on the ball. I don't have a problem with that. Gets the ball forward, gets it to Tielemans, gets the ball forward, gets it to Mazraoui. Up against the low block. You'd probably be hoping to get Sesko on, I think. Plenty of numbers. You've got to start getting crosses into the box here. The standards of the club are on the floor. Don't care if it's game week 1 or the Champions League final. United, as I've known its peak, are a ruthless machine, says Joe. Gabriel wants to finish the season already. No one wants to defeat, but might get a bored reaction to invest in. In fact, no, POV. I'm sorry. A draw or a loss against Hull. Opening game of the season, it's a marathon. Like, you've got to be getting, with all due respect, you can't be dropping points against Hull. Like, you know, any aspirations of getting into the Champions League, you got to win games like this. It's not about opening game of the season or last game of the season. It's Hull City. Like, we have to turn this into a win. And I still think we can. Half-time is going to be very important. But you've got to win games like this. Bruno, shoot! Oh, where did that go? Throw in. When does the 27-28 season start, says Sean? I'm not glad, but I'm glad that the Glinios lovers that think we've had a good window will hopefully start to see what we realise. But Callum, if we win the game, they will say it's a good window, won't they? Terrible. Why are we doing? Why all the fucking long throws? Can't lie, I know it's early and things can change, but I never wanted Carrick and the signings are shit. It's embarrassing. Arsenal are in cruise control first game and we look lost, says Grass Cut, please. I think he's going to blow. And he is going to blow. We need a left-back and a centre-back plus Baleba, says JPN. What would you change around at half-time, says Adam. And I said I was worried about Hull's formation. Carrick's inexperience is being shown to the world. Fully reliant on moments to get us out of this, says Gaz. Casemiro this and that. If one player makes or breaks a defence, then it's no defence at all, says Lupus. We're so back, says 9G. Rashford could win 100% of the fans back today, says Sir Autism. He definitely could. The experienced players must stand up. And KY says Shaw and Maguire need to go. How are they still starting for Man United in 2026? Need Sesko on, says Jack. I agree with that. We tried to warn them and they called us negative, says Silver. Best in class. This is what happens when you go for cheapest in class, says Ronnie. Get one back before half time, but from where? I don't see anything from our midfield when we're under pressure. 4-1 still on mark. Heaven clueless. Dorgu mid again, says Rishab. And Glenn says, we look so poor, we're never breaking their low block down, and we're non-existent on crosses, but we normally start poor anyway. Cheers from South Carolina, says Roger. Clear as day, we need reinforcements at the back. Ineos need to go off their backsides and support the manager. Intensity and fitness is shocking, says Irish Beckham. Playing 3 players at the back that haven't played this summer, garbage. Carrick gone by Christmas, says Love Hate Games. Dorgu's going to get subs, says Sashi. Okay, look, let's talk about that half of football for Manchester United. Obviously, I don't think anybody, well, some of you will have done, but I would never have predicted Manchester United to be 2-0 down at half-time to Hull. I mean, that is remarkably shite. Call it what it is. I think that ultimately we probably we don't deserve anything more than 0-0. We've certainly not done enough to go in front, but the goals are definitely preventable. And if I'm Michael Carrick, I'm just very, very confused as to how I've got people like Mazraoui, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw in my defence, and we're conceding goals like that. Aidan Heaven's still a kid. You know, he's developing, but and the midfield is obviously new, but you expect your senior players to step up. And I think that's where we are again. You know, plan A hasn't worked. So plan B is going to have to work. And plan B is going to have to be Sesko off the bench to give us a focal point aerially. Plan B is going to have to be chuck Rashford in and see what he can do. Maybe, you know, moments from Rashford. And you're looking at people like Bruno Fernandes again, aren't you? I mean, the way back into this game is going to be moments. You're gonna you know, maybe a set piece. Harry Maguire gets his head on it. Maybe a moment of brilliance from Rashford, Bruno. We're not going to get back into this game by getting hold of the game and dominating Hull, I don't think. I think we're just going to have to try and get 3 goals with relying on our senior players. The disappointment for me is that, I mean, we did the tactical preview with Wayne Rooney on the Stick to United show, and I asked him about Hull, and he literally said this. He said, look, if you're Hull, you want to be compact, you want to be organised, and, you know, you want to stop United. And they've done that really, really well. Hull have had more chances than us. They've had more shots on target than us. They've had more shots on target than us. It's not good enough. So I think the substitutions I would be looking to make is you've got to get Sesko up top. If he's on the bench, he's got to play. So Sesko's got to go on up top. Now, you could take Dorgu off and put Cunha to the left and put Sesko up front. You can do that at half-time. You can be braver than that, and you can take Cunha and Sesko off, and you can put Rashford and Sesko on. But you've got to get Sesko on up front. Midfield, look, I know it's harsh, but what you've really got to be saying in that dressing room is, and this has got nothing to do with transfer windows, this is Hull City. Most teams are going to expect 6 points out of Hull. Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Villa, they're going to expect 6 points out of Hull. So we can't just say, oh, it's the opening game of the season. It's Hull. And across 38 games, there are almost points that you have to get, and you have to get 3 points here. So I'd be saying to them at half-time, look, this is not a game where we can even draw. We have to win this game. Otherwise, we're putting ridiculous pressure on ourselves. And suddenly, an easy-ish start to the season makes every other game in the season hard because we've dropped points here. So we've got to win this game. So I'm looking at the midfield, and I'm sorry, and I don't actually know who I would take off because Mainu and Tielemans worries me, but maybe you go more attacking. But I don't think the midfield's been very good. I don't think Santos has really got hold of the game as a composed dictator. And I don't think Tielemans has done enough either. And I think the whole midfield, in fact, the entire Hull team, just seems to want it more than us. And I'm waiting for the goals to come on the screen so we can watch that first goal. But that first goal really does emphasise what the game has been. Hull want it more. And that always confuses me. It really does confuse me how we still have this problem. What do you call it? It's like the magnet chin, you know, heads to the ground. Like, why is it in a Man United shirt we still cannot get 45 minutes of effort? And that first goal where it comes back off the post, you watch it back in a minute. There's 3 Hull players who react to it, and we don't. And that's it. That's the problem. The intensity's not there and the effort's not there. So you've got to change something in the midfield because for whatever reason, Santos and Tielemans, and look, they're new signings. Not many teams start the season with a brand new midfield. So we are starting with a brand new midfield. So I would give them that leeway, but ultimately I need 3 points. So Mainu is an established Man United player. You've got to get him on. You've got to get Mainu on. You've got to get control of that midfield. R. Barnes says there's no point blaming individuals outright, but for players of their quality, Cunha and Bruno have been anonymous. They need to be in the game, says Barnes. Fact 1, The decision maker for Maguire renewal and assigning Carrick shall be accountable for good or bad, says Alamar. Carrick's true colours, car crash in slow mode, says Marlowe. And I just hope Ineos don't take over the club. I'm sorry to say they are worse than the Glazers. Well, this is the corner. I want to watch this corner here. So, look how many Hull players are there. They're all stood still. Watch. Leave Heaven out of it. Look, Maguire stands still. Tielemans stands still. Mazraoui stands still. There's just no Man United players there at all. They're all like bloody statues. It's abysmal. When that comes back off the post, it's only bumblebees moving. Look, there's no Man United player moving. And Mbeumo's stood still. Santos is stood still. Maguire is stood still. You can't do that. You can't do that. They've got to tap in because we don't react quick enough. This team plays like a moody teenager working at KFC. They can't be arsed, but the quality of our squad is nowhere near what people believe it is, says Flora. I'd love just one season where it's not us, says McElvis. May as well put Bonnie Blue at right back, says Cole. Rashford is warming up. Rashford on at half time. Look, just very quickly before I go some of your comments, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, this needs to work, and it's got nothing to do with Rashford, right? But we're 2-0 down to Hull in the first game of the season, and Michael Carrick is already pulling out the Rashford card, who would be in Barcelona if Man United and him got their way. So I sort of look at this already and I'm going, the plan to save us is Rashford already after 45 minutes. And this is a player that is only here because Barcelona didn't want him and we can't get rid of him. I hope it works. But it surprises me that after 45 minutes, we're already pulling out the Rashford card. And that might be what our season's all about. We need a worldie from Rashford this season. We need a worldie second half from Rashford. We really do. Heaven, Week, Maguire watching the ball, Dorgu, Le Mans and Mbeumo are the two positives. Le Mans and Mbeumo are the two positive. Everyone else has been poor. Yeah, if I was doing player ratings at half time, the only two players who are higher than a 6 for me are them. Bloody shortest title charge ever, says Shreds. Hey, look, Rashford hat-trick, 3-2 win, who's with me? Can't believe I woke up at 5:30 a.m. to watch this, says J Drums. City, Arsenal and Liverpool would have slaughtered Hull, says Ghost Hunter. Same concern as last year. I see nothing different, says Ryan. We need Rashford on ASAP. He's on, Zach. I do agree with Zach, though. The positive about Rashford coming on is it's somebody who's going to take people on, which is probably what we need. How are we meant to play accordingly to Plan A when we signed Plan D, E and F? And that includes the manager, says Ronnie. It's not a manager problem, it's an owner problem, says Sinil. Amen. Supporting the team is exhausting. It's only 5 a.m. Horrible way to start the day. Don't see a comeback, says Valley. Luke Shaw running away from his responsibility, says Pete. Cunha totally lost out there. Why are we playing without a striker? Carrick needs to scrap the false 9, says Pete Petter. I mean, I'd like to have seen Sesko on at half-time. Board's going to panic again. We're so bad on Shaw's side, and Shaw and Maguire and Bruno is past it, says Marlowe. Shocking performance, but it doesn't surprise me, says Joe. Bruno can't play organised football, only counter. Sensible signings and best in class paying off well, says Wild Street. Mauled by the Tigers, says WTF. Amrim improved attack. His project deserved a midfielder, says Anthony. This could genuinely be 4 or 5 to Hull. 40 from David. 45 minutes and I've seen enough. Can't see any change, says Ryan. And if Glinios don't stop penny pinching, it's going to be a very long season for us, says Zia. Well, the second half is about to start. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. We're very close to 287,000. United Stand live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock. And we also have our player rating show, Match Reaction, straight after this game. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Don't know why the time is still rolling on. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Player ratings we will get in the live chat for you, so you can start getting yourself ready for that because it's a new system we're using, but it's the same old mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average star for your man of the match. Thank you so much, everybody tuning in. Welcome to all our new members as well. You can do that by clicking the join button or by scanning the QR code as it goes round. I shout out our members section this year. Not only do you get a badge in the chat, and join the TUS Ultras. You get loads of extra content on the members section now. We've got When Goldbridge Met Rooney at His House on there exclusively. We do a weekly Fantasy Premier League video as well. And every Thursday, we release exclusive content with Rooney as well. Obviously, Stick to United's on this channel every Tuesday for an hour. But we also have an extra episode on a Thursday where we do different things. So this week, it was answering your questions. And some really good questions they were. So check out the members section. Join it by clicking the join button or scanning the QR code. Welcome. Okay. I would have brought Sesko on, yeah. Yeah, I would have brought Sesko on. I think... we desperately do need that focal point up front. But how fit is he? I suppose that's the big thing. I legit have tears in my eyes. I've been counting the days to see a United game, and this is what we get. I'm amazed for real, says Rishit. Amazon has paid for an X-rated horror show. Look, I want you to remember this, right? 2-0 to Hull. Man United wins this game. This is why negative bridge, toxic bridge, I ain't going over the top. We win this game. Hull City. And if we do win the game, we're not winning the league. It's Hull. But we win this game. We focus, we calm down, and we systematically get the 3 goals, and we don't concede. We win this game. I really do think we're going to win it. I'm not panicked yet. If we lose the game, there's a whole raft of things to say. But half-time, I've seen United 2-0 down at the Etihad and win 3-2. We can definitely win this game. So, yeah, I think that, look, let's calm down. Rashford's coming on second half. Let's start making some chances. We've also got that Sesko weapon in our armoury too. So let's see what happens. I'm being called a moron. Look, maybe I will be proved to be a moron. Like Ten Hag, Brentford all over again, says Mark. I will have a bet with you, says Glenn. We need a left back. Do you think we'll sign a left back just as we needed a midfielder? Look, Sarvesh, can I just say, I haven't missed your super chat. I'm going back through them. There's been a few. We will catch up. Looked natural in that Forest away kit. Come on, you Reds, says MKNFC. On a positive note, we probably get some rumours tomorrow, says Naveen. Look, in relation to Luke Shaw, I don't think he's been dreadful. But this is why we need a left back. I think as United fans, we don't realise what a good left back is. So Luke Shaw's been okay, but if you had a good left back, even, you know, if we had Anthony Robinson in that half, he's going to overlap and he's going to put crosses into the box. Luke Shaw's not been shite, and Ricky would probably clip it up, say pick a card and point out things that he's done well. But if Luke Shaw's a 5 out of 10, there are left backs that will give you an 8. And you will see how average Luke Shaw is if we bring a good left back in. John says he tore his Achilles 2 years ago. This is more painful. Rashford is the past. We need to move on and read previous super chat you missed, Mark, says Island Boy Trucker. We are counting on him. It's sad. Amazon has paid for an X-rated horror show, says Marlowe. I legit have tears in my eyes. I've done that one from Rishit. We're toothless up front, says Kevin. Needs to drop a bit deeper, playing too high. That was from Kevin. Laban says, I guess we're all Carrick out now. Luke Shaw is shit, says Blue. It makes me want to cry that Rashford is coming on. 10 steps back again. I just hope he can be the match winner here. You know, if he's back, you want him to contribute, don't you? To be fair, I don't disagree with bringing Rashford on. You could have took Cunha and Dorgu off and brought Sesko on. I think Sesko's not fit to play 45 minutes. So you've got to bring Rashford on. I said it myself at half-time. It's amazing that 45 minutes into the season, Rashford's the saviour. If you'd said that to me in May, I'd have said, what? But that's just where we've ended up. We still can't break a low block, says Salim. Are you excited about the documentary? Well, we won't see it for a year, will we? So... is it too much to ask to beat Hull, says Marius, without a struggle? And are we going to regret not selling Bruno? Well, I don't think we were going to sell Bruno, were we, Mendoza? Shaw and Dorgu, worst left side I've ever seen, says Zaid. Kits get better, but the football stays shit. It's the Glinios way, says Jid. What would be next if United lost, says Jit. Same shit, different season, says Lewis. Average manager not being backed equals poor results, says Mark. Seen more passion from Welshmen and a sheep, says Irish Beckham. God help us if Rashford doesn't track back, says Daryl. It's because we don't have a leader, says Keel. I don't think Rashford needs to track back in this type of a game. Amazon's capturing this in 4K, says Nico. Casemiro is slow, but the midfield is even slower. And it's Hull on the attack here. That was Marlowe with that. We ain't winning this, mate. We're a joke, says Chillin. I'm from North Carolina. Saw it last week. We're just not ready for the season, says Joe. Team switches off in a league that requires to be switched on all the time, says She Loves Cowgirls. Same as last season. No energy and no intensity, says Christian. Looked like Maguire was holding Mazraoui, says Wilksy. Well, the scary thing is we're not playing one game a week, are we? So if we're going to make hard work, and it's only the first game of the season, but if we're not going to have the fitness and intensity, we've got to play 2 games a week. So imagine we've just played, I don't know, Inter in Italy on a Wednesday, and then you've got to go to Brentford on a Saturday. It doesn't bode well if we're going to see performances like this. Now, it's the first game of the season, and things can change, but it's just lacking intensity, isn't it? It's lacking a vision as well. I don't really know what we're trying to do to break a low block here. We've not had enough. We've not tested the goalkeeper enough. We've pinned in the live chat the player ratings, by the way. It will be in the video description as well. In fact, it is in the video description, but we've pinned in the live chat the player ratings. So I think you might need to sign up for it this year. It's free to do it, and then you're on. You have a login, and you can do it every single game. And Burmo. Offside. I can't sit and excuse the same thing season after season, just as concerning as the last. Nothing changes, says Ryan. That AC Milan, Magic Mike says that AC Milan game was not a fluke. New manager bounce is gone, and we can see Carrick cannot set a team up properly. Players not up for it. Midfield absent. Ball over the top. The only tactic. What were we doing in pre-season, says Andrew. Well, look, at 0-0 in the first half, we did say this, that the timer is wrong, sorry. We did say this at 0-0 in the first half, that... sorry, let me just get this right. 16, 17. We did say that in the first half, that at 0-0 we were knocking the ball over the top. But as soon as it goes 2-0 to Hull, they're just going to sit in. So that ball over the top becomes less and less likely. And, you know, the Mbermos and the Cunhas, and certainly the Rashfords, they're going to love that ball over the top. Right, Rashford's got a bit of space here. He's got to go. He's got to go at him. Free kick. Bit unlucky there because it was a foul and he actually had a bit of space to run into, which is exactly what I don't think we're going to get a lot of in this half. I think if Hull sit in, what are we going to do against a low block? I think we need to score from a corner or a cross. Ten Hag in, says Kem. So wait, where was all the groundbreaking training from Carrick? Amrin got sacked for this, says Lost Brothers. Have you tasted Swedish surströmming? This is what it looks like. Smells like shit, looks like shit, probably shit, says Mike Mika. I'm going to break it to you. 3 goals is a no, says True Gent. Average height of United players is 150 centimetres now, says Zaid. That seems very low. Maguire was offside there. Dorgu gimmick is forced. Cunha at striker as well, says Cal. Thanks for all your super chats, by the way, and thanks for everyone who subscribed. Welcome to all our new members as well. Run at them and keep the ball on the ground, says Cottles. Oh, it didn't go out. It's a corner. Need to score from this. Get out. Here's Tillemans across the back post. Maguire will win that, but second ball again. Hull just won it. Cunha's done well. And that'll go out for a throw-in. When does Sesko come in? I think Sesko would have been on at half-time, Bandit. I think it's because he's just not fully fit. Header over the bar. He's got a lot, to be fair. I tell you what, Heaven's got a lot to do there. It's a hard header. Yeah, player ratings. Every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Yeah. Look, Carrick could be panicking here. I've been in this situation before. You know, you're playing FIFA, you're opening game of the season, you bought players in, you've got an easy start to the season, you're losing 2-0, time's ticking down, and you're thinking, I need these 3 points for the aspirations I've got. You'd be sat there going, look, it's not even about losing the game, it's about 3 points and how that's going to hurt us during the rest of the season. So we need it. When does Sesko come in? That was from Vandit. There's more teamwork in a Bonnie Blue video. People are obsessed with the Bonnie Blue videos, Kay. Run at them and keep the ball on the ground, says Cottles. Allowing Amazon in is a joke, says John. Uncomfortable truth, Cunha and Mbermo better in a 3-4-3, says Anthony. I think Mbermo's played well. I know we're losing 2-0, but I do think Mbermo's played well. TJ says, thanks for the amazing shows. Same old United. Hopefully it'll be a better result in the second half. I would bring Rashford, Delo and Mainu on. There are options on the bench, you're right. This is painful. They look afraid to play. There needs to be urgency and passion. All of our creative players look like robots and there is no vision, says Jared. I need BTTS, Coyle, be carded and Mbermo 2. Both teams to score. Coyle to be carded and Mbermo 2+, says Reese. I just need a Man United win, mate. You know what this is? This is winning juice, or as I call it, tea. Tielemans, too much. Not enough. I don't want to be critical of Tielemans there, but we don't need another fucking Bruno whacking every ball for a Hollywood pass. Like sometimes that pass from Tielemans pisses me off there. Or was it? Maybe it was Bruno. I don't know. Somebody in the chat tell me. But whoever hit that pass there, there's a ball out wide. There's a ball out wide. Shaw and Rashford in 2026. That combo was birthed in 2016. It's full football heritage, says Abby. Where's the intensity from pre-season, says FW. Cunha on the right, says Robert McCormack. He's still playing as the false 10. Was that you in Brum a few weeks ago at the Irish Centre, says Usman. If it was the one in Hall Green, yeah. Here's Mbermo. Lays it off. Good tackle. Right idea by Bruno, but I don't think Tielemans was awake to it. Heaven looks lost in that defence. I don't blame him, says Rivero. There's no new system. I've watched many, although I live in Australia. Can't buy new centre-backs, full-backs, because we can't even on Football Manager, says Francois. Rashford hat-trick, says Ndib. And it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Dorgu's a left-back, says Fudge. United standard post-tournament hangover. Also, I think our ego underestimates certain clubs with it's only Hull. No, I mean, I wouldn't say it's only Hull. Rashford's not tracked back. Fucking hell, we were lucky there. Did you see Rashford tracking back the right back then? We were in trouble there. That pass had been sorted. Fucking hell, there was an overlap. That's the risk, though. Just leave Rashford forward. Any more watch-alongs this weekend? Yes. Spurs-Brentford. I'm very interested to watch Tonali and Mateus Fernandes. Here's Rashford down the left. Into Luke Shaw. Another corner. Yeah, so I'm doing Brentford, Spurs at 5:30. 8 o'clock show here. Match reaction straight after this game. And then tomorrow, Liverpool, Newcastle. And then Monday, Chelsea, Fulham. They're all on That's Football. Naval says, Carrick learning from Potter. Steve Woodley, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for joining the Members Club, everybody. Carrick shows no passion on the sideline, says Santana. Rashford so early is a message to the rest of them, says GB Gary. Right, we've got a corner here, and it's a Bruno corner. I think he finds Maguire better. I've got Bruno FPL, I've got Maguire FPL, but more importantly, we need a goal. It's not even taken by Bruno. It was taken by Bruno, sorry. It didn't look like it was taken by Bruno because it looked shite. I thought it was Carrick gone by Christmas. I actually think he'll be gone much sooner, says Constantine. Yeah, we can't be sacking another manager. I don't want to even think about that. Oh, no. Great play by the keeper there. Otherwise, it was a one-on-one. Who are you going to sign to improve this team, says Oscar. Well, look, I'm not here to slate our current signings, but I said it before the game kicked off. I really did expect us to sign a Tchouaméni or a Tonali or a Bruno G or an Elliot Anderson. You know, I think we needed to sign a player like that. And we didn't. So Tielemans, Santos and Baleba is going to have to work. But we still need a left back. I tell you what, we're not going to get many opportunities where we can do that. But Bruno trying to get Rashford in there was very close. Of course, first game of the season as well. You don't know how much energy you've got left in the tank. Watching Dorgo on the wing is painful. And Cunha is not a natural winger. For all the summer talk of strengthening the middle, looks like we needed wingers, says Zach. Well, we were going to buy a winger. And then we brought we couldn't, you know, Rashford didn't go to Barca, didn't he? So have a huge issue with the Amazon crew being behind the scenes. Bezos still owns a minority stake in Amazon and now Liverpool. Why would we still do this, says Jose. This culture is what happens when you tolerate poor players for a decade, says Alexander. Vandit says, when does Sesko come in? I mean, I would say he's got to come in very soon. We've got to start putting crosses into the box. Here's Mazraoui. See, we are putting crosses in, but we don't have a threat. Maguire, shoot, Maguire. Here's Cunha. Come on. Rashford. Cleared away. He's done well there. Got to be careful. He's done very well there. Bloody hell. Hull on the attack. And goes back to the keeper. Do you think Rashford's heart's in it? I think it has to be, Naval. It's a great opportunity for him, isn't it? I think he will stay now. If he's coming on at half-time for games, he's going to be part of the plans, isn't he? Here is Rashford. He's getting plenty of the ball. Lamarv says we need God to save the club. Bruno with a shot from distance. Straight to the keeper. Last to every second ball. Our passing isn't even amateur level. And what is all this stupid step over crap? The second player doesn't even anticipate it, says Sean Atwood. We need a player with presence that calms and exudes confidence. Casemiro is not replaced and we went with mediocrity. No ambition, FC, says Jeff. Get me and Micha. Tielemans is Xerxes. Look, we're not buying it. People talking about midfielders. We're not buying a midfielder now. Like, our midfield is what it is. Shaw gets it out to Rashford. Need Sesko on. Shout out to those who were championing this summer and licking Glinios' boots, says Omar. One team just wants it more at the moment, is having a laugh. Rashi and Shaw on the left, we're doing the time warp back into the 60s. You know what? I hate the time warp. You remember that song? Let's do the time warp again. I bloody hate the time warp. I hated it then and I hate it now. The most irritatingly shit song in the world. That and what's the B-52 song? You see a sign at the side of the road. It's Love Shack. It says 15 miles to the... Yeah, I hate that as well. Time warp and that. Give me the hat trick. Yeah. My third one is the Levi's song. Should I stay or should I go now? I hate that as well. Songs I Hate by Mark Goldbridge. Yeah. Nick says, it feels like we went into the Milan game thinking we're ready and got exposed. This is the fallout. Amorim exposed our weaknesses. Yeah, but I think Amorim exposed our weaknesses in a very different way, didn't he? They played high up and, you know, suffocated us. Whereas Hull have just done the old... United can't play against the low block. Really need to stop this counter-attack. That never leads to a counter-attack. They keep trying to cross the ball. Hull are ready for it every time. Sesko is our only hope now. Look, we've only got half an hour to score 3 goals. Some people are saying 2. Never. We need to win. Thoughts on Eye of the Tiger after this game? Well, I used to like that song. Get in the bloody bin now. I used to like Rod Hull and Emu as well. That can get in the bin as well. I used to love Emu. He can do one now. Stupid long-necked dickhead. Unfortunately, Rod Hull... Oh, God. I thought Le Mans made a save there. Unfortunately, Rod Hull is no longer with us. Actually died putting an aerial on his roof to watch a Champions League game, which may have been Man United. That's a sad, true story. Rashford's going to win this for us, says Red. I hope so, mate. We need the Melbeck back. Hope you're well, Mark, says Steve. This is one of the reasons you buy Tonali, says Harris. Yeah, midfield's been poor. We've just not got hold of it, have we? Any more? We've done that from WC Bush. Thank you. Thanks everyone who subscribed, by the way. We are very close to 287,000. Bottom right-hand corner to do that and get involved. Click and get involved. Live every night at 8 o'clock, and we are live at 8 o'clock tonight, probably talking about what United need to do in the last knockings of this transfer window. Also, we've got the match reaction straight after this. Pinned in the live chat is the player rating site where you can mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. What worries me is, I'm just taking some notes throughout the game, which is what I do. But what worries me is our response to this game as a coach seems to be really lethargic tactical response. I said at half time, and sadly it has come to pass. It feels like we're waiting for somebody to produce a moment to win us the game. And that, to me, is always going to be problematic. Like, where's the tactics to get us back in the game, you know? Please do share the video, by the way. Got nearly 70,000 watching. You're going to be watching the greatest comeback of the season. Inspired by Rashford and Sesko. I'm here for it. Do you believe it? Yes, I said it at half time. Look, Rashford's not had a shot yet. When he does, it's going to hit the back of the net like a bloody rocket. Still time. Give a free kick, ref. Oh, you're joking. Yeah, I don't feel like Tielemans and Santos have really got hold of the game. I mean, sometimes it's a bit difficult in a low block, I will admit. You know, what are you supposed to do in a low block anyway, from a midfield point of view? But with every passing minute, the comeback becomes harder. Luke Shaw gets it out to Rashford. It's a tremendous ball into Shaw, and it's a good block. That was actually good play. Rashford, lovely ball into Shaw, got the cut back there, and it was a good block by Hull. You feel they'll be doing more blocks than Lego in this last 15 minutes. Mazraoui's cross. Struggled to beat the first man a lot. In fact, one of the best crosses I've seen has been from Harry Maguire today. It's that low block, isn't it? Oh. I actually don't think Luke Shaw's done bad this half, you know. It's a good cross. I mean, the last person you want on the end of that is Mazraoui. Here we go. Sesko time. Come on. Crosses in the box. It's Santos who comes off and Mainu as well. Taking both his midfielders off. So I'd imagine Bruno goes into the midfield. Very attacking substitution here with 25 minutes to go. You got to go for it, haven't you? You got to go for it. Why are people saying 3-0 when it's not 3-0? Oh, Marley says, all the abuse you give Luke Shaw, 38 games last year, best ability is availability. Oh, my God. Best ability is not availability. You could have the shittest player in the world who never gets injured. How's that the best ability? The best ability is ability, mate. Rod Hull was United versus Inter quarterfinals, says Cooper. Jar, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. We are playing a team who had a transfer embargo last season and looks more together than a bunch of individuals. We lack the players to the United team together like Casemiro, says Irfan. Daniel says, just adding to my last super chat, no matter the result, they need to back Carrick and make multiple signings after Baleba. No excuses, so much work to do. Thank you, Daniel. It is August 2026 and we have Luke Shaw, Maguire and Rashford in the starting lineup. This is Glazeronomics at its very best, says Adage. Bring Ollie back next to Carrick. Bruce says, can you read my chat? Sorry, but we won't win this. I'm trying my best to get through them all, mate. We have got a bit of a break here. Help me, Benjamin Kenobi. You're my only hope, says Carlo. Watchers go and panic buy centre-backs, says Ace. We can't be buying any more midfielders. What worries me is we have Spurs season, says Jean. Bruno long ball to Rashford. Carrick at the wheel, says Final Whistle. Mate, we were doing long throw-ins in the first half. We haven't even got a big player up front. Who would have thought a Chelsea reject wouldn't work, says Ethan. Where are the substitutes, says Carl. I think that we've done that now. You're all delusional idiots if you think Rashford will save us, says Spiritual. You guys, look, if we can get Rashford 2022, we've got a chance. You guys should have been all over Mateus Fernandes, says Game. Well, I'm watching him at 5:30, so we'll see what that's all about. Hand of Thrawn says, looks like Mbermo and 9 zombies. Can't believe how delusional people are, says Ronnie. We're so done. Wrong manager, wrong signings. Simon says 3-0 incoming. Need to change it now. This is taking the piss, says Jack. Get Patrick Berg, you tossers, says Battle Nude. Bring Lisi on for Bruno. I'm serious, says Jeremy. We're not winning this game, Mark. Very poor, says Dale. Some say Emu did it, says Robbo. The team is not good enough, and this is the poorest window I've seen in a while. Imagine playing Champions League football, says Chris. Could use a hydration break about now, says J-Dead. Would we trade Carrick for Xabi, says FIFA Central. And thoughts on Eye of the Tiger after this game, says Alex. Need a bit of Enya today, says T-Crow. Charlie says, is Bruno drunk? Guarantee we win this game with Anderson and Tonali, says Zaid. I've seen enough. Get the Fletchers on, says Luke. They're not on the bench today. Roy says, calling it Spurs or Chelsea finish above us. They just chucking in desperation crosses now, says Sorrotism. Does it look like we're running through mud, says Mac Wood. And in 2026, we've still got Rashford and Shaw. Dan says, new left back. We need a new back four. Second-rate signings, and we wonder why we're crap, says Narn Breen. Last to every second ball, says Sean. Do you think Rashford's not done that one, haven't we? Okay, we're caught up now. 20 minutes to go. Probably a bit of stoppage time. Please send Santos back and get Enmitra or Kone. Santos cannot get hold of the midfield. It's only Hull, says Amber. Heaven knows we're miserable now, says John. And are we really surprised? Hold on. Here is Rashford. He's got to get the cross in. That's what Sesko's there for. Referee says play on. Hull don't have anything in the attack, so we've just got to keep pushing. Look at Sesko. He's an absolute beast. Get the cross in the box. Oh. Are we really surprised with Shaw, Maguire and a failed championship manager and 4th and 5th choice market value signings, says Isaac. Sorry, mate. I can specifically remember you saying in a video not so long ago that the best ability is availability. I don't remember saying that, Matt. Maybe I did, but, you know, it doesn't sound right, does it, when you think about it? Same old United, characterless gameplay, says Rishab. Don't worry, a new stadium makes this all better, says Sam. From this camera angle above, Mbeumo and Mazraoui look the same. I've been getting confused the whole game, says Manny. Well, I did in the first couple of minutes. I thought Mbeumo played a pass to himself. But, yeah, it's Mazraoui's shaved head. I don't blame Carrick, I blame the shitheads at the top. Well, this is the problem, Gerard, actually. You make a good point. We spoke about this all summer. The summer transfer window has been pathetic. You get these glazer-out cheerleaders, you know, taking a pop at people like me and you, telling us how great the summer's been. And I've never said it. I've never thought it was that good. And just wide from Hull. The season starts. You maybe end up not winning this game. And everyone's saying Carrick out. And it's like, all summer, it's very obvious what the problem is. But it will be Carrick's fault. Mainu and Bruno in the midfield. Amrin was right, says Aidan. Rod Hull. I've done that one, thank you. Right, nice ball over the top. Going to be a long season, says Mike. United can't put a good cross in to save their lives. Well, we've got to now. Bowler. We are grot bags if they're Rod Hull, says Rob. Why not bring on Delo to spiritual and complete the Glazer plan? Here's Rashford. Got to put the cross in with the right foot. Loads of time for Bruno. No, fucking hell. Bruno's had a stinker, hasn't he? All the time in the world. Why not bring on Delo? Joke, Maguire and Shaw need replacing urgently, says JPN. Rashford will be rethinking Turkey after this, says Hugh. It's my birthday today, Mark. Not the best start for us. I just don't see us doing well this season. Please send Santos back. I've done that one from Amber. I just don't know how with 15 minutes left we haven't even scored a bloody goal. That can't be a handball. Shut up. Bruno is invading Santos' zone instead of staying in the 10. Well, Santos isn't on anymore, full. Bruno's playing as a deep midfielder with Mainu. Cunha's in the 10. Rashford off the left. Sesko up front. Mbeumo on the right. Santos and Tielemans are off. It's Mainu and Bruno in the midfield. Trains have been cancelled back to Manchester, says Reese. I don't know whether that's a joke or true. Come on, cross. Cross it, Mbeumo. No, fucking hell. You know you're in trouble when you're losing 2-0 in the 75th minute and wingers are cutting in and shooting from silly angles. Can't wait to see what Rooney thinks. Mate, I've just... Actually, you know what? It's all new to me as well. I've just remembered stick to United's going to be fucking horrible, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to sit there and... Well, I don't know. Hopefully I'm going to be reacting to a brilliant comeback. But if we lose, you know, Carrick's his mate. It's going to be a very interesting show, isn't it? Still time, though. Top it off. Trains back to Manchester are cancelled. Oh, no, that's true, Jonathan. Thank you very much for letting us know about that. Hov says, is it me or are you not upset enough? Mate, there's two reasons I'm not losing it. One, I think after 10 years of this, I think performative overreactions are fake. I've said that to you before. You've seen me, pink boots and all that stuff. I'm used to this now. I think it's very difficult to be shocked by anything that United do. So that's one reason. Two, I still think there's time to get back in the game. At least you get super chats. Rest of us have to suffer watching this. Why does it feel like cycle continues? Says Wacko. Maguire's up. Into Luke Shaw. Dink it, Shaw. Dink it! Fucking dink it! Why is he looking for Rashford all the time? The cross needs to go into Sesko, you bloody idiot. Bring in Conte, says Harry. How do you think Hull have been and rest of season? I mean, Cameron, if Hull get 3 points here, it's an incredible start to the season for them. I'm sorry, but saying this isn't Carrick's fault as well is wrong. He doesn't have the capabilities to be a top manager. He's shown nothing again. It's Hull. Look, Jacko, if this season goes anywhere near like this last 75 minutes have gone, realistically, who chose to go for Carrick over an experienced coach? Oh, good chance, Mbermo. He did well to get the shot off. That's what I'm applauding. It's a corner. He did well to get the shot off. Good ball by Cunha in the number 10 position. I thought the defender was going to get there, but he did well, Mbermo. To be honest, he did very well. He actually maybe could have hit that a little bit better. What time will Baleba be announced? Says Andy to cover the spin. Look, we need to score from this corner first. Maguire. And they've cleared it away. Can't wait to see what Rooney thinks. Thanks, Ghost Hunter. Done that one. Big cheers from Hull fans there as all trains back to Manchester have been cancelled. Can today get any worse? Why have they been cancelled, Callum? In fact, don't tell me. I've known what this country's like. It could be something quite horrible. So, when will you be Carrick out? Not after the first game of the season, Ahmad. You shouldn't be losing to Hull, though. You shouldn't be drawing to Hull. Cross it. Why have we... You know, before Sesko came on, we put about 20 crosses in. Since Sesko's come on, we're not putting any bloody crosses in. Cross it. Ah, have you noticed that? Before Sesko came on, there was about 20 crosses. Since he's come on, we don't bloody cross. Lacey is coming on. Delo is coming on. He'll take Cunha off. I bet he keeps Bruno on. Mazraoui for Delo makes sense. Who's Lacey coming on for? Cunha. What a surprise. Anyone blaming Carrick, just remember who hired him, says Tony. Yeah, I was trying to say that. Look, Wilcox and Barada kept Ten Hag, gave him 300 million, sacked him. Brought Amorim in, gave him 200 million, sacked him. Then they said they were going to get an experienced coach. They go for Carrick. So if it doesn't work, they've got to go. They're also responsible for the transfer window, aren't they? But look, let's be honest. It was always between Carrick or Southgate, and we both know how that was going to end. Well, I'm glad Carrick got it then. Need tall midfielder. Cancel Baleba and sign Kone, says Anon. Farmers could beat this lot, says Harry. Amash should be starting instead of Shaw, says Bowl. Can you say Harvey, your season's over, chap, says come on. Well, it's Hull down the left-hand side here. I think he got overexcited there. So Lacey's on. Switch of the play. Luke Shaw. Out to Rashford. Rashford's struggled because he's been doubled up on. Oh, I thought Sesko was going to score. That was exactly the type of cross you want in. I think it's a corner, though. That's exactly what... I mean, good cross by Rashford. And I don't think Sesko got anything on it. That's why it's a corner. We've gone short. And Burmo headed away. And Hull boot it away. Remember your player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to know. It's very hard to give a Man United player higher than a 6. And this has been something that we thought we'd solved, actually. Like, if you're a Liverpool fan or a Man City fan or even a Brighton fan, every game you probably get 4 or 5 players who are like a better than average. This has been a consistent problem for United for over a decade. We have so many of these types of games where so many players play below average. And, you know, if today Bruno had been 7 and Santos had been 7 and Mbeumo had been 7, we'd probably win the game. But we have this horrible tendency for the whole team to underperform. I'm getting to that point now where I'm still hopeful of 3 goals in 10 minutes, but I'm starting to think I'd take a draw. I'm even starting to think, will we even score? I mean, are we going to get shut out here? I mean, that'd be an absolute embarrassment. Rashford to the byline. Laid it off to Mainu. Good block. Rashford's done all right since he came on, actually, you know. Luke Shaw. Bruno. Delow. Maguire coming forward. Shot straight at the keeper. I mean, Maguire's best work's been as an attacker, hasn't it? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Match reaction straight after this. Referee's doing something here. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's doing a substitution. What a depressing start to the season. Well, it looks like a depressing start to the season. "85 minutes. Fucking hell. Even I might have to start admitting we're not winning this. Embarrassing. I mean, you know what? I have a few notes. I don't know. I'm never short of an opinion, but I'm struggling. I did not expect this, and I'm struggling to convert it into what you say after the first game of the season. Because admittedly, it is the first game of the season. But what are we doing? We're writing games off. Like, we shouldn't be losing to Hull City on the first game of the season. I would expect if you're at Anfield or even Brighton, maybe this could happen, but I wouldn't expect this. And the trouble with it is that we did so well under Carrick last season. Won all those games. And it just reminds me of like when Ollie got the job. You know, we won all those games under Ollie, and then he gets the job and people switch off. Shoot, Maguire. Overdoing it here. United tactic is Hollywood. Bruno, 32, new deal soon, says Anthony. We don't need to worry about playing twice a week at least because we'll get knocked out of the Champions League very early, says EG. Honestly, Steve, he could be a brother, says Wandering. What makes you think we finished third, Mark? Well, that was pre-season. That was, you know, I have to do that prediction before, mate. Matt. Third place is stretched now, Mark. Well, you can't be dropping. It's too early to say that, but you know, we're going to have to get playing catch-up already, aren't we? Premier League is back. That was from Streets Whenever. Premier League is back. And United are back to being the biggest banter club as usual. Jokes as Stu. Difficult to watch. Typical poor start. Great tackle on Rashford there. Aras, thanks for your comment. Penga says, based on the small sample size, seems Mainu probably the sole midfielder that will be relied upon for carrying. Yori and Santos look more recovery types. Mauled by the Tigers, says McBinks. We need heart surgery 4 seasons ago and we've had knee surgery. Can you agree? I don't know what that means, Robert. How bad does it look to spend the whole summer buying midfielders and 70 minutes into the game reverting to Wild West football, says Connie. Well, that's what I mean. Another corner here. As far as low moments go, where does this rank, says True Gent? Well, it's not over yet. Daryl says slow to, but it's a horrific start to the season. I mean, people talk about Ten Hag's start when he lost to Brentford and Brighton. And maybe those teams were a little bit, you know, they've got more respect on their name now. But this is a team that some people think shouldn't even be in the Championship, you know, because of Southampton's cheating. They got booted out and obviously Hull benefited. And here they are beating Man United. I mean, Hull are the worst promoted team on paper, by the way. Slow to every ball, second best all over the pitch. What a shite way to start the season. It's like we weren't ready for it. Says Darryl. I'd be interested to know. Look, I'm very much looking to. I can't wait to record Stick to United with Wazza. You know, he said, you know, Michael's his mate, but he said he will be honest in the criticism. You're going to struggle to find positives in a game like this. You really are. How can 80 minutes of football suck the excitement so quickly, says Irfan. We're so slow, it's horrible football, says Jack. We're so bloody predictable as well. I mean, I don't know whether anyone else has noticed it this game. The amount of times we've gone down the left-hand side and tried to do something with Shaw and Rashford and it's not worked is incredible. Can't believe you made this Ollie mistake again, says John. Xerxes been forgotten. Well, I ain't got no mates. I've got no sympathy with Xerxes at all. He needs to go. You know, we're playing shite and you don't get used. Like, Xerxes is his own worst enemy. Like, I don't know whether he thinks it's a charity or a holiday, but, you know, Xerxes should have gone. That's on him. It's not just the match, Mark. I've noticed it since last year. We don't put crosses in when Sesko's playing. It's bullshit, says Rishab. Out of the 52 years since Hull beat us, says John, breaking records again. 6 minutes added on. I can't see us scoring 3. Rashford goes long. Lacey, lovely touch. Can't break a low block, can we? The scariest thing is we've seen this before. You know, an ex-player comes in as an interim, does really well. They give him the job. And then instantly, I mean, this is Carrick. Remember, this is Carrick's first man. This is his first job as not an interim. And look what happens. Same thing happened to Ollie. Remember we went to Everton more or less straight away after they gave him the job and we got battered. And here we are at Hull. Basically the equivalent of getting battered. These players cannot be trusted. They can't. You can't keep using the same players and expecting a different outcome. Disappointing result, but it's a long season. We were winless after 3 in 2007 and won the league. Thomas, that is the most optimistic thing I've seen in years. Well done. Why so calm? From the videos before the league starts with all the fair emotions, how are you fine with this? Says Matt. Mate, I'm not fine with it. I'm just waiting for the full-time whistle. You'll see what I've got to say in the match reaction and it won't be calm. I just, many times... Remember Brentford at Old Trafford when we were losing 1-0? Into stoppage time and we won. Sometimes strange things happen. Tillemans has passed the ball more to Hull than United has Kenzie. Ross says, so bad from United. All this weekend will be talked about is the result. The team should be ashamed. This was supposed to be an easy start. Well, we have got Ipswich at home next week. We've been schooled and embarrassed. We can only hope they wake up after this. I mean, not scoring is abysmal. It's absolutely abysmal. Disgusted, says Roz. Why bother caring anymore when our owners and players don't? Hull look like they have an extra player on the field. Why am I so calm? Mate, go and read my tweet. Go and read my tweet. I'll tell you why I'm so fucking calm. Because all summer, I've been attacked by top Reds because I'm negative and I've said the transfer window's shit. So I'm just sitting here now going, well, some of us saw this coming. I've had so much abuse over the last few weeks from United fans. And why would I be losing my shit at this? I told you the window wasn't good enough. I told you the team wasn't good enough. And here we are losing to newly promoted Hull without scoring a goal. But mate, if it looks like shit, sometimes it is. And, you know, the point scoring on social media over this summer is hilarious. And other content creators as well. Over, you know, glazing signings, glazing, you know, it's been a good summer. And I bet they're all screaming and shouting now. And I feel like going, fucking have that, you hypocrites. What are you moaning about? I thought it was going to be an amazing season. I thought we'd had an amazing transfer window. And I guarantee they'll all be there for the clicks on the Twitters and the videos moaning. Last fucking 4 weeks, they've been slagging us off. They've been slagging us off for calling this. And they'll all be there going, oh, fucking this, fucking that. How long till they Carrick out? They'll be Carrick out before I am. All the toxic positivity causing pile-ons of communities like ours for saying it how it is. Saying the ownership's a bag of shite. Saying that Ineos are worse than the bloody Glazers. Saying that the transfer window's pathetic. Saying that we should have been buying people like Tonali, Anderson, Mateus Fernandes, but we went for second best. No, we've bought really well. We've saved a bit of money. We've bought really, really well. We haven't even scored a goal against fucking Hull. So that's why I'm calm, because I'm sat here going, well, I'm not shocked by this. I'm not shocked by this at all. We're getting mauled by the Tigers. Look, those fans who were optimistic about this season, who were telling us you're being negative, oh, I'm fed up of the United stands negativity. Are you going to call it negativity now, or are you going to call it having a fucking brain? I tell you what I'm tired of. I'm tired of getting abuse from United fans for saying it how it is. I'm tired of United fans pretending that this ownership is a good thing. I'm tired of people telling me it's going to be a great season. I hope it is, but look, we'll have ups and downs. Chris is right. We'll probably beat City in the Manchester derby because they'll play a little bit more open. We can't beat a low block is the answer. Anyway, don't forget to do your player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. When we didn't hire the best-in-class manager, we should have expected this. They better pull their finger out and spend properly now, says Jack. How annoying you're getting mauled by the Tigers. I've not heard that one before. Signed Carrick after a lucky run. Lucky if we get top 10, says Al. And you've got us next week. Bet you're looking forward to us playing based on that. That's it. Final whistle. Absolute joke. Manchester United lose 2-0 with a whimper. Absolutely disgusting performance. Absolute joke. I can't wait to read. In fact, I'm going to purposely go on social media in a minute while I'm setting up the match reaction, and I'm going to hunt out certain accounts who've spent the last 2 months coming for me, and I'm going to go and read their accounts of what they're going to say about this game. I'm going to read what positivity they're going to come out with. I'm going to read some of the stuff they've said about this community and how negative we are, and I'm going to read how they're going to justify losing to Hull. Maybe they'll blame the weather. Maybe they'll blame the trains being cancelled. Think about the United fans who were stuck there after that shit, not able to get home because the trains are cancelled as well. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous performance. Wetter than an ant's fart in a washing machine. Absolutely rubbish. And no passion, no response, no goals. And the scary thing is, when you're losing 2-0 at half-time, our saviour is Marcus Rashford, who actually did okay. But it feels like it's 2021 again. Luke Shaw and Rashford and Maguire, I mean, it just hasn't worked. It just doesn't, you know. This ownership desperately wanted to get rid of Rashford. We're losing half-time in the first game of the season, and he's the hope. What sort of message does that send out? That you're losing 2-0 to Hull in the first game, and Rashford's coming on to save us. And this is a guy you tried to kick out of the club. What vision? What fucking vision? Come on. Do your player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I don't think there is going to be a man of the match, Marlow. Luke Shaw played 90 minutes as well. We need a left back desperately. I'll see you over on the match reaction in a minute. It's going to be a good one. Bit quiet about what I thought, I'll admit that. But I've got a long list of stuff I'll be talking about. I'll see you over there.